Hey, so welcome everyone. And on behalf of the Lewis Stokes Midwest Regional Center of Excellence, we welcome you to today's session, which is titled Applying to Internship Opportunities. My name is Alexius Lampkin, and I will serve as your session moderator today. I'm pleased to be here as I'm connected to LSAMP in many ways, currently as a Bridge to Doctorate Fellow at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I'm studying molecular and cellular pharmacology, specifically interested in understanding how stress can induce mental health disorders. Prior to coming to UW, I attended Albany State University in Georgia, where I was a member of the Florida-Georgia LSAMP program. So LSAMP has played a huge role in my progression through academia and provided many opportunities for me. Before I introduce today's speakers, I just have a few housekeeping items. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be made available next Wednesday through the Whova app. We ask that you please provide your feedback about today's session in the post-session survey, and I will post that for you guys. And if you have any questions for our presenter, please feel free to type them in the Q&A discussion board in Whova or in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer your questions. And this will be a very interactive session, so we look for your participation throughout. This session is scheduled to take about 45 minutes, and it's imperative that we stay within time. If we run out of time for the Q&A at the end, we encourage you to use the discussion board to continue this conversation and reach out to the presenter via the Whova app. Now, it is with great pleasure that I introduce you to today's speaker, which is Brian, and he's all over the place, so I'm sure you've met and heard some of his presentations before. So without further ado, let's welcome Brian.
All right, thank you so much, Alexius. So today, we're kind of continuing a dialogue we had earlier today about internships. Going to be doing just a little bit of teaching at the beginning, but any point we absolutely want interaction with you so we can make sure that you feel confident about pursuing the summer 2022 internship opportunities. So let's just start off with a little bit of an icebreaker. Feel free to use the chat box to give me your feedback on this one. I can't see the chat box, so just let me know if you know what's in it right now. Actually, I can see it now. Okay. What percentage of students do not plan to place canceled internships on their resume due to COVID? So what do you think the percentage of students who maybe had an internship last summer, but say that internship was canceled due to COVID, feel like they're not going to put that on their resume? Just throw out some random numbers there. Just give me a guess. All right, 70 right out the blocks.
I have 50% and 65 in the Whova chat.
All right, let's see what we got. I got an 80, got a 50. 85%. 85%. And you may say, Brian, why are we having this discussion about COVID? Well, the reason being is that an opportunity is an opportunity. And though that you did not get to fulfill the responsibilities of that internship, being accepted and having that internship offered is something still of value. And so I highly recommend that if that happened to you last summer or any other time, please still give yourself credit for it being provided to you. No, you will not be able to document all the wonderful experiences you had with it, but the fact that you were awarded it is still of great value. And it's a small but simple thing, but impactful thing that students are leaving off their resumes. And so I just wanted to give you guys that bit of feedback as we kind of get into today's topic. All right, get back on screen here. So we're talking about internships, right? This is a very competitive market, not only on the academic side of things, but also on the experience, right? So the more and more generations that come, the competitive nature of job opportunities and admittances into graduate institutions is continuing to get greater and greater because more students are making good grades, more students are involved in activities outside of the classroom. Now the question is, how many students have really good experience? And so these summer opportunities that you have in either industry, research, et cetera, are really good opportunities to have differentiation with the competition. And I gave this stat the other day, but I just want to go through this one more time, and it'll add a little bit more value later. On average, every corporate job opening attracts 250 resumes, but only 4 to 6 of these people will be called for an interview, and only one of those will be offered a job. So if we go back to that previous slide here where I had differentiation is key to success, and then we come over here and we look at these numbers, it's very, very clear that you need to be doing things that gets you separated from others. We like to have unity in the majority portion of our life, but when it comes down to you trying to get an opportunity that can change your life, you want to make sure that you're in the most competitive position, and having really good experience is really a great opportunity to do so. So let's just talk about the overall construct of the internship. It gives you a chance to practice. It gives you a chance to get some learning, a chance to get some experience. And from those experiences, it may help us, like I always say, redefine or refine our academic path. And then also it lets us actually put things into application and get some successes and some wins from the things that we have studied in the classroom. So if you want to talk about the importance of the internship, I want to just show a little bit of data that 70% of companies offer interns a full-time job. Let's say that out loud one more time. 70% of companies offer interns a full-time job. 80% of students accept such offers. As a result, 56% of interns get full-time jobs from internships. So you may say, well, Brian, I want to get my PhD. I want to take the academic path. Well, don't you think when you're applying for grad school that having internships and summer research opportunities along with those wonderful grades you're making is just going to make you even more competitive? There's nothing bad about it. There's nothing bad about internships. The question is, are you taking advantage of them, and are you leveraging them? So let's just talk about a few things of why internships are important. Before we go into that, let's get some hands raised and give us your feedback of what you think, why you think the internships are important. Like to hear it from you. And please use the raise your hand feature, and Alexius will call you out. And if you don't use raise your hands, I will call you out.
Okay. We have Deborah Smolier, and you should be able to unmute, Deborah.
Okay. Because I just attended a session before this session that spoke about internship. So what I learned about from there is that internship actually makes you, gives you more room to learn, even when you don't know anything at all. Then it prepares you and make you more competitive in the future. It doesn't really matter if it is paid or not paid. It's the benefits is huge in the future than when you're just starting.
Yep, absolutely. Wonderful feedback. That is spot on. And I love the fact that you said about it allows for you to learn even in the space that you may not be an expert in yet. That's the whole premise of the internship, is the fact this isn't a postdoc, right? Where you have shown a certain level of expertise. The internship is where you're able to start honing those skills, and you're in the process of developing expertise. So I really like the fact that you called that out.
Yeah.
Anybody?
We have someone in the chat, Zahira. She says it allows you to network with other people and can help you make decisions about what you want to do career-wise.
Oh, absolutely. That is a great point. To me, next to getting the experience for your resume, just that decision after the internship of like where to go from there is so important. And that internship just gives a little bit more clarity into your future decision, both career and academic. So that's a really good call out. Is there any one more that'd like to share?
There's not one right now, but I can add my 2 cents. I
Please
went to
do.
a smaller university research wise. And so when I did my internships, I was going to these big, large R1 institutions, and I could just have so many more opportunities to do research and things that my university wasn't doing. So it allowed me to explore and see what I did like and what I didn't like, and just do things and meet people that weren't available at my university.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all for that feedback. And let's see, what do we have here? It gives you a chance to test industry knowledge, helps you figure out your interest, creates new interest, right? Over the summer, you may get exposed to something and you're like, wow, I didn't even know I was interested in that because I never experienced it. Connects you to industry professionals, allows you to learn in a safe environment, right? This isn't like you're a full-time employee and they're all over you. You got to perform, or you might get fired or something. This is a safe space where you're kind of on a quest and you get a chance to learn. Allows you to get paid to learn. That's always awesome. Provides possible credit for your college degree. So for those that may do like a co-op opportunity, you do get college credit for that. Allows you to potentially gain more internship opportunities. And what I mean by that is one internship puts you in a position, a stronger position to get another internship, because people's like, oh, they already done one. That's awesome. There's credibility there. And it creates a unique travel experience for those that get a chance to intern, maybe away from home, at a different location in a different city and state. I did all my internships away from home. I've never worked in Texas my entire life after I left high school. So all these places I've traveled all around the world have come from starting off with my first internship. Inspires you to learn more about an industry, teaches you about the importance of work-life balance, right? Because you're going to get challenged on how do I keep a balance between, doing my work, but also having some enjoyment in life. And then one critical thing that we don't want to lose sight of, which is very kind of hard to figure out at times, is introduces you to office politics. So it's a different world, with connections and networking and all these written and unwritten rules and all these different email etiquettes and all these different things that come about when you just get a chance to get that experience over the summer. Anybody else wants to, now that I've kind of given a longer list, does anybody want to add to the list or add their 2 cents on any of the items on the list? Feel free to use the raise your hand, or at any point, also Alexius, feel free, you can please add value at any point yourself. All right, we're gonna keep it going. So you may say, where could I find internships? So one of the things that we wanted to make available to you is just a comprehensive list of some of the organizations that exist, that all will be posting internships, having conferences for internships. And many students and even faculty don't always know that all of these, and this is just a small list, there's more, that these organizations exist and that they're posting internships and scholarship opportunities. And for some of them, you can even put your resume on their site and companies will go and look for you through their websites. So I just wanted to list this, and I wanted to get your feedback on this. The last time I shared this list, I had a student say, wow, I had no clue these even existed. I would love your feedback. I want to hear your thoughts about this, because many people are getting internships, full-time jobs, and scholarships through these organizations. If you're not connected with them, you're really missing out. If you don't have a connection to any of these, you're missing out big time, because there's a lot of opportunities through the list that I have on this screen. And that's the power of LSAM too, is even if you didn't know, like, that's why we exist, is to try to expose you to new information. So please feel free to come off mute and share your thoughts, either as a student or as faculty, if you want to talk about these organizations or just validate that this is a credible areas to be able to get opportunities.
Yeah, and I'll say a lot of these organizations are great. Some of them are actually where I found my internships. Also attending conferences like this and talking to people and networking and seeing if their companies or their schools have internships is also a great way to learn about opportunities, as well as your own institutions and programs that you may have there. When I was in school, I was a part of the MARC program. I know some schools have the McNair program. They also are very helpful, as well as LSAMP, in helping you find internship opportunities.
And Alexius, one of the beautiful things about these organizations is that it's not a necessity to always have a presence on your campus. So
Right.
just in case you don't have these organizations on your specific campus, some either let you partner with another campus's organization, or they just you don't have to be affiliated with any local. You can be a part of just a national organization. So I don't want you to feel.
I always say at the end, I normally ask students what they're going to include in their life map to brainstorm. It's nice to have students talk with them and brainstorm ideas, because everyone's going to.
All right. So the one thing that I will say for those that don't have you on your campus, don't be discouraged, because you can be a part of these organizations even if they're not on your specific campus. That's the beauty of them being, a lot of them being national organizations. Also, if you do not have it on your campus, feel free to connect with maybe a campus that's in the area. And the reason that I still would do that is because it still brings that camaraderie. And they also, because they have it on their campus, they may be having events and special events for you to be able to get connected and get opportunities as well. And this is kind of the part for the student where this is you, if we look at like a sport where you have offense and defense, this is where you're playing offense with your success, right? This is where you're not being defensive. You're not waiting on a faculty to set you up or somebody to put you in a position. These organizations allow for you to go play offense with your future and put yourself in position of success. And then for people like me, I end up taking a leadership role in my organization and becoming the president, which that then opened up some new opportunities and new doors for me as well. And so I just really, I'm a big supporter in getting into these organizations. And from an internship opportunity, they are of great value. I mentioned it earlier and I'll mention it again now. The fall and career internships are going to come the most through your campus's fall and spring career fairs. We do not, as students, take advantage of the career fairs on our campuses. Now, listen, if you're really about it, I would go to career fairs on another person's campus. So if you're like, oh, well, my career fair on my campus is so small and wasn't that many opportunities, go to another one. If a big school has one and you could figure out how to get to their career fair, I will get my butt in there and I will be putting my resume in front of as many people as I can, because I am playing offense with my success and my future career and academic journey. So just wanted to give that piece of advice. And as I told you earlier, the fall is where many internships are going to be secured, and it's when the most opportunities exist. By the time you get to that spring semester, we're getting less and less. So for instance, I'm going to jump ahead here just to kind of prove that point. Let's see. There it is. Okay. So if you're like, Brian, I don't believe that. Well, let me show you. It says October the 28th is the application window for this internship with Fermilab. January the 10th, the application is due. So do you think that this is a spring or a fall semester activity? This is a fall semester activity. The application is opened up here. You're going to do all the hard work, get that application in, and you don't want to be the person that's applying in January, because applications are going to start being evaluated early. They may select here, but if applications are coming in, they're going to start looking. And so really, this is not a spring activity. This is a fall activity. And so I just wanted you to see that even in the internship that we were making available, that we need to leverage the fall semester. I do believe that most universities probably have already done their fall career fair. But if yours hasn't, make sure that you are present, professional, and ready to present yourself. All right. So yesterday we talked about LinkedIn. Wanted to give a few stats. 95% of recruiters use LinkedIn regularly, and 77% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find candidates. If you are not on LinkedIn, you're missing a very good free marketing opportunity for yourself, brand building opportunity for yourself, and potential offers for opportunities will come through there. I really, really highly recommend that every student at least gets their LinkedIn profile built. I'm not asking you to be on there every day using it, taking up a lot of your time, but just getting that built has a great value to you. Does anybody have any positive experiences that they'd like to share of where LinkedIn provided a great benefit to them? Outside of myself, it's helped me more out of college than when I was in college, because we didn't, it didn't exist when I was in college. We didn't have LinkedIn.
I actually did not know about LinkedIn until I went to my first internship, and they had a session during the internship for professional development where they taught us about LinkedIn, and then we spent about 30 minutes creating a LinkedIn profile.
Awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's, to me, I call it my online resume, my virtual resume. And it just opens you up for potential opportunity. There's no negative side of it. There's only positive. And so for me, if I want to make sure that at least I'm giving myself a chance to put myself out there, I at least want to give myself an opportunity. If nothing comes from it, that's great. But at least I can say I gave myself a chance.
Yes, I use it a lot, especially for networking. When I don't know or I'm trying to break into a new field, I try to find people who are in this field and ask for informational interviews or just message and try to learn more. Like you said, it's a lot of positives that comes out of it, especially when it comes to like selling and making yourself marketable for internships or other opportunities that you're thinking about applying to.
Oh, wow. So I didn't notice the chat. So Deb, like always, she's always dropping stuff in the chat. For those that hadn't checked your chat box here, Deb has put so many opportunities inside the chat that I highly recommend you get those copied over to your computer and start taking advantage of those. I did want to walk through our Fermilab opportunity. And I should have taken the Eaton one and put that one in this presentation as well. We'll speak on those at the closing. But here is a wonderful opportunity. And what's so cool about this one is not only do you get a chance to get the summer opportunity, but we have coaching and guidance with myself and Dr. Shaw and Deb, and we're going to work with you throughout the summer to make it the most beneficial experience that you can have. We actually help on your prep of your summer, during the summer. We help close out your summer. So it's just a really good opportunity for you to have not only a good internship, but also just somebody and a group of people that's helping make sure that it's the best experience that you can have. As we look at some of the key dates, October 28th, we said a few minutes ago, application window opens, January 10th, due date. The selection will take place by March 2nd, and then May 18th through August the 7th is the window that we're going to have to support our students through their 12-week program. You get one-on-one guidance and support from our leadership team here. And then you can see to the left what the eligibility requirements are. I do want to just give a same plug to Eden Corporation, who presented their opportunity yesterday in partnership with the LSAMP Alliances and the LSMRCE family. We did have a student take advantage of that internship last year. They did a webinar with us maybe about 3 weeks ago and was really, really pleased with the opportunity. We've built a really good partnership with Eden, and we want to make sure that you are taking advantage of that opportunity as well. Not sure if we have that link to drop inside of here right now or not. All right. So Deb posted inside of the chat box these opportunities. This is just another way to get to them. This will be posted later for your review as well. So let's talk about a few next steps for you if you're a person who's serious about going after your internship over the next semester or over the next summer. Use the tools discussed today to identify the potential internships that are of interest to you. So we have the career fairs on campus, we have the organizations, we have the specific locations that we put on the previous side. One, Alexius, that I haven't spoken about, but is probably the most important: getting connected with your Office of Career Services. The better they know who you are, the easier it is for you, because they can actually make recommendations for you. And like with my university, we put our internships, like, let me say it this way. We put our resume into the Office of Career Services database. From there, we were actually applying for jobs and internships because it was updated in their database. And so companies were reaching out to them. And if we were registered with them, they can connect us to opportunities. I personally believe it's one of the most untapped departments from a student standpoint on most campuses. And then I want to push back here too. Some students say, well, I'm not getting what I want from my Office of Career Services. And I'm going to say, do you pay to go to college? And they're going to say, yeah, I pay to go to college. Well, then hold them to a higher standard. If you're not getting what you need from the Office of Career Services, then you go demand excellence. And you need to have some conversations with administration, because they have a responsibility. So not asking you to go and be, do anything crazy, but you pay bills there. They are held to a good standard. So please come in there, Alexis.
Yes, no, I just wanted to say, we have a question regarding the career service. They said, how would you go about navigating that, since we're still mostly in a virtual setting and not on campus?
Well, first off, I would find out what their contact information is. Is it a phone number? Is it an email address? I would also find out, do we have a social media presence? Like a lot of career services are on Instagram and Twitter and different social media, LinkedIn, etc. Sometimes they will have maybe their office hours, even if it's virtually. So kind of figure out how to navigate that if you don't have an office on campus to go contact them with. Find out who works there, get their email address, email them, call them. I would just do whatever you have to do to play offense to get in contact with them, to understand their guidelines, what they expect, what they need. And I got my first resume updated with the Office of Career Services. They helped me create my very first professional resume. And so I'm passionate about it, because I had a strong partnership with mine and it benefited me greatly. And I just think it's an area that we need to make sure we maximize.
Yes, I agree with that wholeheartedly. For ours, when I was in school, we weren't virtual, but I used to go by there and talk to them, and they would have information. And again, like Brian said, if you have your name out there, when opportunities come up, people think about you. And so then you're not even having to always do the grunt work yourself. Other people are helping move your name along and introduce you to opportunities. And so that helps you find opportunities that maybe weren't even on your radar because someone else got an email and then they can forward that to you. So definitely make yourself visible to your career services office, to professors, to anyone that could possibly benefit you and help you get to where you want to be.
Absolutely. All right. A couple other things was track your opportunities, get a few mentors to get you some letters of recommendation if needed. Keep that resume updated. That's really important. Every semester, you should be re-updating your resume on both your physical resume, but also remember we said that LinkedIn is our virtual resume. So probably every 3 to 6 months, just take some time and make sure things are updated. Draft the application materials and have others review it. So if you're having to apply and you're like, and I don't know if did I say this correctly? Have some other people support you with and help you out. Also, once again, that's where that Office of Career Services comes into play. And make sure that you know due dates. Make sure you know due dates so you don't work really hard, feel like, oh, I got it, I'm ready to present my package. And oh yeah, I forgot it was due last week. That really sucks. And then leverage your network. LSAMP, LSMRCE, Deb, Dr. Wynn, Dr. Batanga, the team, all of our PIs on the campuses, we have opportunities, guys. We have opportunities. Leverage the network. Leverage this community and leverage the network. You got to do your part, but leverage the network and make sure that we're not having opportunities that we have to throw in the trash, because it is depressing to see the number of internships and the number of scholarships that go unfilled every year. And then the student will say, oh, nobody's helping me. Well, you didn't apply. So you got to leverage the network. All right. Then a couple other takeaways is take advantage of fall career fairs. Spring career fairs are good, and I definitely want you to go to those as well. But I really just want you to put a strong emphasis from this point on of being really ready for that fall one. Apply. And also, here's another reason for the fall career fairs. For graduate school. If you're going to graduate school and you're trying to have that conversation at a spring career fair, you're too late. Most graduate schools want your applications in this semester because they're going to do their evaluation process, just like the internship for Fermilab early spring, and make their selections. So really, all of this is a fall semester. Fall semester is just such an important semester for your future. And I don't know if students realize how important the fall is. And I'm not talking about the academic side of things. I'm talking about just kind of your future. A lot of things take place in the fall. Apply to multiple internships, please. Apply to as many as humanly possible. Having options is a wonderful thing. Being geographically flexible is really a good thing if possible, because there's just more, you're opening up the window of opportunity. And if not an internship, ensure you leverage your summer. So doing something that is moving you towards your academic or professional career path over the summer is super, super duper important. Little contact information for me, and then I'll go back to some of our key takeaways and just kind of leave that on screen and just open it up for any more questions, comments, and feedback that you guys may have. We want to make sure that you are getting the best experience over the summer and that you feel the best prepared to go after an internship. So we are here. We'll leave it open, and please take your devices off mute and let's hear your voices here.
Yes, I do have a few questions in the chat. So one is, and I think this is a good starter question, when looking for an internship, should you stick with your major or in STEM in general?
Ooh, great question. Both. Start with the major, expand to all. And the reason being is that you may not be an engineer, but you may be in biology. And you say, hey, I couldn't find anything in my biology field, but here's this biomedical engineering type of thing. And what if you go over there and find out you love it? And then you change your major. Yeah, you know, those things happen. For me, I went from electrical to manufacturing based inside of my major after my internship. I wanted to be an electrical engineer. I became an industrial engineer. So that was what the internship did for me over the summer. So yes, I would expand my horizons. But I would try to, if you like really, really know what you want to do, try to start down that path. But if you're like, if you really are undefined, then man, open that thing up to everything. Open it up to everything. I don't care if you do something in finance. They're like, what was that about? Hey, I'm learning. I might turn around and be a finance major next semester and be going to business or something. But the biggest thing is don't waste your summers. Don't waste your summers. I wasted a few and I wish I could have got them back.
Yes. And I'll also say, you know, STEM now is so interdisciplinary. So if it's like a specific thing that you want to study, but like you're a biology major, but it's in the genetics department, like don't be afraid to kind of like go over there and still do it if that's what you're specifically interested in. So I wouldn't limit yourself to your major in that way if it's like a specific project or a specific technical skill that you want to learn.
Absolutely.
So our next question is, what is a good way to talk about internships or your experiences on your resume?
Okay, so just real simply, your resume should start off with your name, you know, your address, all that type of stuff. It'll have, you know, your major, your projected graduation date, may have your GPA up there. Some people at the top may even have courses of relevance that they've taken that directly align with industry, right? Don't be putting music history and you're over here applying for an engineering position, right? It just has no value there. So make sure you're trimming that section down. And then right on those items, you should have a section that says experience. Mm-hmm. And inside of that experience section is where you're going to document what you've done over these summers. And that's it. So it should be right there. You should have a little section that says experience. And then all of these experiences are going to be under that section.
Yes.
And hopefully from freshman year to senior year, you've added more to that section.
Yes. And I also want to say again, if anybody has a live question and they want to raise their hand, I can definitely take you off mute and you can ask your question there. Another question that we have is, what about unpaid internships? Do you think they're worth taking?
Absolutely. We had a great dialogue about this earlier. If you're down to paid internship versus no internship, unpaid internship versus no internship, take the unpaid because the experience is greater than doing nothing. And sometimes the experience can be greater than a paid internship if it's giving you the right experience, right? Because really the money in a summer is going to be okay. It's not going to change, completely alter your life, but that experience could be a life-changing experience and life-altering experience. And the return on the investment is greater for, your resume and your future job offers that you're going to get having that experience. So if getting paid is an option, go make your money. I needed some money. I was poor when I was in college. But if it comes down to it and you're talking about the potential of doing nothing versus doing something, please go do something, please. You don't want to waste summers. I just wish I had somebody beating me over the head about that when I was in college because I wasted a few of them.
Zahira, you can ask your question.
Hello. My name is Zaria Patrick. Oh, it's fine. My question was, how do you get out of that loop of needing experience, but you don't have the experience, so you're trying to apply to get the experience?
So there's a couple strategic ways you can do that, and then there's a way that's going to make you laugh when I give you the answer. So let me know if it was funny or not. The strategic ways is to go volunteer. You can go volunteer right now, right? I heard somebody earlier talking about medical. Go volunteer at the hospital. Guess what? Put it on your resume. You got experience. That's real. I didn't get paid, but that's a real experience. So going to volunteer is the cheat code to getting experience, especially when you're, the younger you are, where you have less experience. The other opportunity from an experience standpoint is being able to actually work. So I heard this earlier and I really like it. Some people just go get a job in that field to get a little bit of experience in it, which then just sets you up later. And then the funny one that I wanted to say is, who cares? Like, who cares that you don't have experience? Just keep applying. Remember, all we're looking for is one person to say yes to us. One yes. If I got 10 internship offers, I'm only going to work one. I can only accept one. So if you get 10 and I get one and we both do the internship, we're both winning in life. So, and when I say that, I don't want to be offensive. What I'm just saying is sometimes we can stress so much about being young. We can stress so much about not having so much experience that it puts us in a position where we don't promote ourselves enough and put ourselves out there enough. And so that's why I just said, who cares, is because I want you to just keep shooting your shot. Keep giving yourself the opportunity for someone to finally say yes. But behind the scenes, Zariah, what you can be doing is the volunteering, the working, if possible, but at worst, do the volunteering side of it to be able to get you those opportunities. And then push comes to shove, we're going to go to unpaid route, which at the end of the day is volunteering again and get our experience. And that's going to put us in a better position for that opportunity in the future.
Yes, and I'll just add to that. For my first internship, I didn't have a lot of research experience, but I put all of the skills I had learned taking my lab classes at school, things I just thought would be a leverage for them to see that I do have the skills. I'm just looking to gain more knowledge. So you've done a lot of things. And even though it may seem like, oh, I had to do this for class, you can use that to your advantage to make yourself look better and like the person they need for their internship.
Both of you gave really good advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for asking the question.
Yeah, definitely. We are sadly out of time for this session, but you guys have a lot of great questions, and I encourage you to continue reaching out to Brian in different sessions and asking your questions and talking to him, because he's a great person to talk to. Also, Deb and Pam, who's listed, talk to them, reach out to them, use this conference to your best ability. And like he said, you're on the offense. Go out there, talk to them, make those connections. So we want to thank you, Brian, and to all of you who attended today's session. As a reminder, this session is recorded and will be posted in the Hoover app by Wednesday of next week. And please, please, please take the post-session survey. I'm placing that link in the chat now and on the Hoover app. And we just thank you again so much for taking the time.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And we look forward to seeing you at the closing session in about 15 minutes. So go take a little break and let's get ready for a wonderful closing session to, I believe, a wonderful conference that we've had thus far. So talk to you soon and see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Alexius.
Thank you, Ryan.
Take care, everybody.